A plane soars through a bright sunny sky. Down below, luggage containers are rushed across the airport. Inside the terminal, a crowd of people bustles through the lobby. Moving with the flow is a man in his late 40s, wearing a bold, floral Hawaiian shirt. A woman of medium height, her black hair in curls, walks beside him. Between them is a young man in a blue sweatshirt, managing a large suitcase and a fanny pack. They exit the airport together, the very picture of a family, a father, mother, and son. The father takes a deep, dramatic breath. Wow, the air in South Korea is really different. The mother gives a light, nervous chuckle. Honey, you shouldn't say things like that. We could get in trouble. But the young man groans, addressing them both. Comrades, was it necessary to wear such ridiculous clothes? The mother pats his head and pulls him into a hug. My handsome young son, she says softly but firmly. You can't talk like that here either. A short while later, the family is in a taxi, leaving the airport. They pass incredible sights, the Seoul Tower, the Spiral Tower, and other massive skyscrapers. The father points at each one with uncontrollable excitement. His mood fills the entire cab. The mother is amused. The son is annoyed. The taxi driver watches with a friendly smile. The father whips off his sunglasses and laughs. Are all the buildings in South Korea this huge? The mother remains cheerfully pleasant. The son sinks into his seat, utterly embarrassed. The taxi driver laughs. Sir, has it been a long time since your last visit to Seoul? The father answers with pure joy. This is our first time. The driver is completely stunned. Your first? Before he can finish, a hand suddenly grabs the father's head from behind and yanks him backward. It's the mother. She quickly points out the window. Just look at how beautiful that architecture is, she exclaims, creating a distraction. The confused driver glances with a side eye. The father is now sitting perfectly still and silent, just staring out the window. The mother forces another nervous laugh. The young man just keeps frowning and looking outside. Soon they arrive at their new home. It's a breathtaking skyscraper with tall, majestic towers. The mother gasps, "What a wonderful place to live." The father replies, "That apartment cost more than $4 million. Hearing the amount, the young man can only think, incredible. As they approach the entrance, a security guard stops them. Which unit are you visiting? I'll need to issue a visitor's pass. All three of them pause to look at the guard. The mother offers a polite bow. With a massive grin, the father points straight up to the top of the building. The penthouse, the biggest one. It's our home. The security guard's face freezes in absolute shock. We just moved in last month, the mother clarifies. The guard can only stand there, sweeting buckets. The scene cuts to a wide shot of Seoul International High School. In a classroom, the teacher makes an announcement. Class, we have a new transfer student joining us today. The students murmur in surprise. A transfer in the middle of the semester? And into their advanced class? This gets everyone's attention, even the students in the very back row. His placement in our advanced class speaks about his qualifications, the teacher says. I expect you all to be welcoming. She turns. The floor is yours. Introduce yourself. The young man is silent for a moment. Then he speaks. My name is Kang Jian. Please take care of me. A girl in the back, Liara, exclaims, He's so cool, totally my type. Her friends giggle. Looks like Liara is already interested. The teacher interjects, Let's settle down. We have a lesson to begin. Kang Jian takes a seat next to a student with red hair. The boy and his friend shoot him a dark, ominous look. The teacher calls on him. Kang Jian, this is a second-year advanced class. Can you keep up? Kang Jian says nothing. Then, the teacher says, pointing to the board, Perhaps you can solve this problem for us. Kang Jian doesn't stand up. He just looks at the complex equation for a single second. From his seat, he states, The answer is 224. The teacher is shocked. What? Other students scramble to solve it. A moment later, a girl raises her hand. He's right. The answer is 224. The teacher is amazed. You solved a high-level sequence in your head? That fast? The red-haired student stares in complete disbelief. Liara grins widely. Even better. Oblivious to the reaction, Kang Jian remains quiet. But one thought burns in his mind. I will complete my mission. A flashback begins. A young, scrawny Kang Jian is panting heavily, forced to keep running under the watch of a military officer. Next, he struggles with a mountain of high-level books, an armed officer supervising him. His training turns to combat. He hammers a knife into a tree, practicing patterns under strict surveillance. 3 targets on trees are shot with absolute precision. Now older and stronger, Kang Jian runs the same course with power and ease, not even winded. The scene cuts to a sparring match. A scar-faced officer stands across from him. In a flash, Kang Jian dashes forward to attack. The officer blocks the knife strike and counters with a vicious kick. Kang Jian barely stops it with his forearm. The impact forces him to crouch. The officer uses the opening to swing his knife toward Kang Jian's head. Kang Jian drops backward to dodge, but he's not fast enough. The blade slashes his forehead. They reset, and the fierce sparring continues. A different flashback. Kang Jian stands at attention in a military uniform. A superior officer barks, Agent 7, your mission is in South Korea. He warns, this deep cover operation will take at least 10 years. Your objective is to infiltrate the South Korean upper class. Kang Jian is visibly shocked. You will build powerful connections in politics and economics. Then, you will become a sleeper agent and await orders from the party. A single drop of sweat runs down Kang Jian's temple. The officer shouts, do you understand? Kang Jian snaps a sharp salute. Yes, sir. As he holds the salute, 2 officers approach. They are the man and woman from the airport. These are your comrades on this mission, the officer states. Kang Jian turns to look at them. Both agents bow in perfect unison. The 3 of them stand in a heavy, tense silence. Back in the present, the father gazes out the penthouse window at the sparkling city skyline. The mother walks up behind him. Will he ever believe our lie? She asks, her voice filled with worry, on the verge of tears. The father turns and sees her sad expression. He pulls her into a comforting embrace. We must be patient, he assures her. We can't rush this. He looks back at the city. For now, what matters is that he is out. He is free from that hellhole. That is enough for now.
Kang Jian sat at his desk, completely surrounded by a group of chatting girls. One of them leaned in to inform him that Liara had her eyes on him. Puzzled, Kang Jian glanced around the room, trying to spot the person they were referring to. The girls, however, didn't give him time to look. They immediately began bombarding him with questions. Why did you transfer in the middle of the year? How did you even get into this school? Where are you from, anyway? Their curiosity quickly turned personal. One girl speculated that since he'd come from abroad, his father must work for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, maybe in England or America. Overwhelmed, Kang Jian couldn't manage a single response under the relentless questioning. Just then, another student approached. The circle of girls immediately parted and bowed respectfully, making way for Liara herself. She walked confidently up to Kang Jian, hands on her hips, and greeted him with a warm smile. Hello, she said, introducing herself with her full name, Liara. Without waiting for a reply, she took charge of the conversation. Your name is Kang Jian, right? Kang Jian stayed silent, his gaze fixed on her. His mind flashed back to a memory, a classified file he had studied back during his training. He remembered scrutinizing documents filled with details about Liara. He was totally focused when the dad comrade entered, holding a huge stack of more papers. These are more target files. Study them. This is much more than we anticipated. Be cautious. He dropped the stack onto the floor with a thud. Understood, Kang Jian said in a sharp, military style. The dad comrade frowned. First, change the way you speak. You sound like a soldier. You need to blend in, sound like you're from here. Understood. Without breaking his stiff demeanor, Kang Jian responded, Yes. Back in the present, Kang Jian recognized Lee Era. For him, she was priority number one. The daughter of South Korea's largest corporation, Samjong Group. His mission was clear: get close to her, gain her trust, and eventually extract corporate secrets. Seeing him silent for so long, Lee Era asked, "Are you always like this?" Always tight-lipped, Kang Jian reminded himself of his mission and prepared to interact, but then she pulled out her phone. "What's your Instagram? I'll follow you." Our spy MC was absolutely stunned. He didn't know what Instagram was. The only Insta he knew was instant failure. The girls grew curious. "You don't have an Instagram?" one asked. Another joked, "Did you crawl here from North Korea?" Lee Era sighed and extended her hand. "Fine, just give me your phone. I'll put my number in." But our spy's stunning lack of basic preparation shows that he didn't have a phone either. Sweat beaded on his forehead. This was a disaster. His mission was crumbling before it had even begun. Lee Era and the other girls stared in disbelief. "You don't have a phone?" she asked, half amused, half concerned. "Are you a caveman?" Shaking her head in disappointment, she turned and walked away. Kang Jian stood paralyzed. He had failed, miserably. Nearby, the red-haired boy and his friend laughed mockingly. Other classmates whispered among themselves, some guessing his parents were overly strict. Within moments, everyone who had crowded around him had drifted away. For the rest of the day, Kang Jian could only replay the humiliating words in his mind. North. Instagram. Cell phone. Defeat. After school, he walked home like a zombie, those same words echoing over and over. He was so lost in thought that he barely noticed the commotion around him until loud noises snapped him back to reality. He turned his head and saw bodyguards standing by super expensive cars. Then, a classmate walked past him, a young lady with long black hair, eyes stuck to the ground. Kang Jian recognized her, priority 0, even above Lee Era. But before he could react, a massive bodyguard blocked his view. The guy was huge, way bigger than RMC. Almost mockingly, the bodyguard looked down at him. Kang Jian didn't back down. He glared back with the same intensity. Nearby, guards opened a Lexus door. One by one, bodyguards got into luxury cars. Lee Era walked with her guards toward another car. They all bowed, thanking their benefactors for their hard work at school. The whole convoy of luxury cars rolled away while Kang Jian just stood there, stunned by the blatant display of wealth. Just as he was about to move, a hand suddenly swiped toward his face. It was the red-haired guy. "Move it," he said, but our spy MC dodged easily with lightning reflexes. The guy was shocked. "What the hell?" Kang Jian didn't say a word, just stared silently, teeth gritted. "You're annoying," the red-haired guy said. Then his own bodyguard bowed to him and opened the door of a Mercedes G-Wagon. After all the rich kids left, the other students began crossing the road. Kang Jian stood there processing everything, when suddenly a gloomy guy with a fringe covering his eyes called out to him. From his intel, Kang Jian knew this was Jang Dongwu, grandson of the Minister of Justice. His father? Seoul's district prosecutor. His mother? Chief judge of Seoul High Court. His entire family was law enforcement royalty. "The road always gets hectic when these rich kids leave," Dongwu said. Noticing our guy had no car, he offered him a ride. Kang Jian thought for a minute. Dongwu backtracked. "Sorry, maybe I overstepped." But our MC accepted. "I'd appreciate it." The gloomy guy beamed. In the car, Dongwu asked for his address. Our MC said, "Bampo Blue Tower." Dongwu smiled. "You live in a really nice place." He introduced himself fully. Our MC did too. The car ride was mostly quiet until Jang Dongwu, fidgeting nervously, brought up the math problem from class. "How did you solve that so quickly?" he asked. Before our MC could answer, Jang Dongwu backtracked, apologizing for prying. But our MC saw an opportunity. "Do you want me to tutor you? I can teach you to solve it mentally." Jang Dongwu was overjoyed, giggling excitedly. Our MC allowed himself a small internal chuckle. The mission might go smoothly after all. Then Jang Dongwu asked the question that brought back the panic. "But is it really true that you don't use Instagram and don't have a phone?" Kang Jian froze, sweat pouring down his face again. Elsewhere, Liera was being driven home in a blue Rolls-Royce. She turned to her bodyguard, who was also her driver. "There's a new transfer student," she said. "I want to know more about him." The bodyguard suggested a full investigation by the strategy department, but Liera declined. She just wanted to know if Kang Jian was safe to be around. The bodyguard assured her he'd have a report ready by that night. Liera smiled to herself, already intrigued. Back at the high-rise apartment, the mom comrade greeted Kang Jian with a super warm welcome. "My son, you're home," she said loudly. Kang Jian was shocked. Without breaking character, she said, "If I greet you, you should say something back. Like, I'm home from school, Ma." The dad comrade stayed quiet, reading a paper. Blushing with embarrassment, Kang Jian muttered, "I'm home, Mom," making fun of his embarrassment. The mother also started to speak it really loudly. But then, diverting the topic, she started to push him and asked him to go check out his room. Kang Jian could not understand what was happening, but the mom assured that he will realize it once he sees it. When he entered, he was stunned. The room was beautifully furnished with a study desk, shelves, decorative elements, a comfortable bed, and even a calisthenics bar. A laptop, tablet, and smartphone sat on the desk. "Are we allowed to use operational funds like this?" he asked quietly. The mom giggled. "It's all for the mission. We have to look incredibly wealthy." Kang Jian picked up the smartphone, examining it carefully. "Do you know what Instagram is?" he asked, addressing her formally as ma'am. She looked just as clueless as he was. But then the dad comrade walked in with a smug look, pointing at himself with a big smile. "Don't worry," he said confidently. "I'll teach you all about Instagram." The mom giggled. Kang Jian was confused. Later that night, we see Liera, extremely sweaty after a heavy workout. She was running at night, grinding for that baddie body. Her bodyguard approached and handed her a file. "It's about Kang Jian's father," he said. "Steve Kang, Korean-American, CEO of a cryptocurrency called 11 Coin, one of the top 5 in the world. Estimated net worth, over 30 billion. His company has also expanded rapidly into security and networking in the USA and Japan. China is showing interest as well." Liera read the report, then closed it. The bodyguard asked if she wanted a deeper investigation. "No need for further investigation," she said, smiling charmingly. "He seems decent enough." Thanks for watching. You're tuned in to Kira Reads Daily. Let's set a small target. 100 likes. Once we hit it, I'll drop the next episode right away. So don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. See you in the next video.